I never thought I'd witness one of the funniest social experiments in my life at a BTS concert, because by the end of the night, women had fully taken over the men's restroom, and honestly, the guys didn't even care. But beyond that, this was one of the coolest concert experiences I've ever had. VIP Soundcheck, floor seats, BTS live for the first time, and seeing Salina finally experience her favorite band, it made the entire trip worth it. Welcome back to another episode of Sigma Duocast. I'm your host, Rick, and today in this episode, I am going to be essentially recapping my experience with the first time ever going to a BTS concert, the ARIRANG World Tour that took place in Stanford, California, at Stanford University, in the Stanford Stadium, and I kind of got a lot to share about it. And a funny story, as I was hinted in the opening there. Why this concert mattered was because this was the first time for both me and Salina seeing BTS. Now, this concert was heavily focused, and what I mean by this, and personal wise, not the concert itself, for Salina, my wife, so she can finally get to see her guys live on stage. As you guys know, if you listen, I in the K-pop scene, my band is Twice, and with the bias of Mina and Momo, and so I got to see them twice already. Actually, no, I've seen them 3 times. We were actually it literally just popped in my head. We've seen them 3 times. Seen them in Oakland, Vegas, Oakland. So me and my wife were like, "Oh, you've already seen them twice," and I was like, haha, no pun intended. Actually, no, I've seen them 3 times. Wow. And it's still not enough. I got to see more. So it's all right. She's catching up because we are going to have another opportunity to watch BTS later this year. But anyways, that's what this whole thing was. It was the moment I knew that they were going on tour, because for those that don't know, BTS, they had to take a break because they all had to do mandatory military service for about 2.5 years in Korea. And so they took a whole break. We never had a chance to see them in concert. The last concert they did was Permission to Dance, and we unfortunately missed that bus. So this time around, when we knew they were coming back, they dropped their new album, which I did review and I talked about. If you go back a couple episodes, if you're curious to know about my thoughts on that, be sure to go do that. And we knew the tour was coming, so for the tour, I knew I was going all out, because I had to spoil, and above all else, do everything you can and anything for your wife, girlfriend, significant other. For those that are listening, like, if you haven't gotten to that level, you will, and it's one of those things where you just do. It's not you're not looking for clout. You're not trying to get any type of like, ooh, I need brownie points, which, they are brownie points. But anyways, you're not doing for any of that. You're just doing what you got to do. And again, those that are in that type of relationship, I'm pushing almost 20 years next year. So this was all out. So for Stanford, I managed to get in the queue, which honestly, I had everything so far BTS related. I'm talking since the moment they came back and announced a new album to now. I'm talking about pre-ordering the album, merchandise, concerts, buying tickets, the concert experience, merch. Everything so far has been about 90% luck, the K-pop gods, whatever, on my side. Like, it's been a smooth sailing for me, aside from, honestly, buying merch, whether it's through Weverse for pre-ordering, or, as you guys will learn, at the concert. So I've had a pretty good experience. When the tickets went on sale, I bought the Stanford, the VIP Soundcheck. I went all out, didn't care. And then I tried to get tickets for SoFi, and I did get tickets for SoFi. I was going to do the VIP there, but I was already going all out for Stanford, which now, honestly, after what I just experienced, kind of regret not getting VIP because I did have an opportunity to get VIP for SoFi, and I am low-key regretting that at this point, only because, and you'll listen through the episode today, it's the Stanford experience was something. So, and I know at a proper arena, stadium like SoFi, I know the experience is going to be top tier. So I'm kind of low-key already regretting that, but it's all right. At the end of the day, we're there. We're going to have a good time. But getting tickets was easy. It was very easy for me. So again, got tickets. I knew this was going to be a big moment. Many years in the making, waiting for Salina to see not only her group, her guys, but Army, the fan base, like being in that atmosphere with that energy and everything. It was huge. Like, this was an extremely, extremely important concert for her, for me, and this whole tour as of right now is very important for BTS. So yeah, so I had to go into it, well planned. Again, it just wasn't another concert for us. This was Salina loves BTS, and it's what's cool about it, it's one of those bucket list type experiences. Like, I don't know if you guys have made or have done a bucket list, like, hey, I got to do this at least once in my life. This was one of those experiences. So it was really awesome to experience that. It was really awesome to, provide that. Not that I'm trying to flex on that, but it's been a journey for me, arranging everything, but also getting to actually do it. So part of that journey started with, all right, we're going to day 2 of Stanford at BTS concert. We didn't do day 1. I was doing Sunday. It's Saturday. They're doing 3 shows, Saturday, Sunday, and then Tuesday, random break with that Monday. Not too sure, because again, this is a university, which was a very beautiful university, mind you. Very nice. Very, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, the university itself just felt there's a lot of nature. And, yeah, it's wonderful, wonderful university. And so, where was I going with that? Lost my train of thought, because I was just thinking how beautiful the university was. But since we knew that, all right, we're doing day 2, I was like, we're going to do the VIP check-in 9:30 a.m. I wanted to try and do merch. I was able to get some of the merch that we needed through Weavers, because they sold it early, and then you could just go pick it up, which actually I didn't get the thing that she did want, which was a sweater through Weavers, but I got an extra of the light sticks that BTS has. And so for the tour, they were doing like special like jerseys that were like baseball style of a jersey. Think of a baseball style jersey. And but it's all like each member, and those were like the hot commodities, and they only sold them at the concerts. And so I was like, hey, listen, we could either go the day of, get up hella early, drive, hour and a half, 2 hour, depending, to get there, get all in that, and just be there and experience it. I was like, that's too much. I was like, you know what, let's stay the night. Let's just go down there, stay somewhere nearby. Some were cheap, nothing too crazy. So, and it was last minute, mind you. So a lot of the good, closer hotels were taken, but I just got a nice little hotel nearby. And we stayed the night right there in Sunnyvale. And, yeah, it was cool. But it did lead to our first negative experience. Well, I'm going to say negative experience for me. I'm really hard on myself. And again, I had a plan. I had an agenda. I had a mission. I had a goal of what to accomplish. Salina was just there for the ride. I was the captain, navigating everything, planning everything. And so I got really pissed, because this is where it's going to transition to like a travel vlog, if you will, of what we're talking about here. We spent the night early to go. I did a lot of I was trying to research as much as I can, parking. I did do a parking pass for the event when I bought the tickets. Parking opened at 1:30, and I was general parking, whatever. I usually get parking passes for any type of event I go to, whether it's a Dodger baseball game, football game, you name it. So, but we wanted to do the early VIP check-in. They did the early merch where people were lining up like crazy. Like, it's insanity. I mean, the level of fandom and the level of the extremities that people go to accomplish whatever it is to accomplish, whether it's buying merch, whether it's seeing them, whatever the case may be for this particular band group, it's insane. Nothing that I've ever seen. I can't compare it to anything else out there, but I do feel they are bigger than most music artists out there. So it's next tier, next level, or not even next, top tier, like the best of the best. And so, all right, I'm like researching, I'm watching people do their little TikToks, trying to get, some advice on what works. And that parking was the biggest thing, and I didn't know. Most of the time, though, I kind of sometimes wing it, like, hey, we'll just go and we'll see how it goes. Usually they have good structure, good people to communicate where to go, this and this and this. We knew there was going to be a lot of walking because, again, it's a university, no big deal. It's not built or designed to accommodate a venue of concerts, sports, of that. I mean, it is a football stadium for college football, but I mean, let's be real, it's not NFL or anything like that. So we stayed the night, we left early, and the parking, the morning arrival parking was the biggest nightmare and the biggest fumble that I experienced. So I don't know if anyone else, if you're listening, if you happen to go on to you're at the level of fandom where we're at, where you go early and do all this stuff, but like, I don't know how, if you did go how your experience was, please do share, but it was terrible. I mean, literally wasted like 30 to 45 minutes trying to find parking, which bit us in the butt later in a very bad way. At least, again, my personal opinion, I beat myself up more. I'm extremely more judgmental than anybody else can be. That's why when people insult me, it's like, okay, cool, that's great. I can insult myself way worse than what you can come up with because I know myself really well, and I can be a pretty big a-hole to myself if I wanted to, or to others if I wanted to get crafty, because I'm pretty sarcastic at times. But dude, the parking was so terrible. We got there early. We're trying to talk to some of the people. They don't know what's going on. We went in circles a couple times. That means my first time at the University of Stanford, so I didn't really know what I was looking at. The maps, the internet reception. I mean, come on, dude. It's like, I'm pretty sure it's Silicon Valley. I mean, it's right next to Palo Alto. You know what I mean? Like, these are the hubs of some of the biggest tech companies out there. You would think that this stretch of land from San Jose to San Francisco, across the bay, this side of the bay, like, would have the best top tier wireless signals, antennas, you name it. It was terrible. I mean, at one point, my wife's phone entered SOS. Like, it was just bad. So I'm over here trying to navigate this, let it load so I can figure. Here's the other thing too. Throughout the day, everyone knew it was a known problem. Like, everyone's like, yeah, as soon as you enter this area, you're going to lose reception. If you go over here, you'll get pretty decent. Like, we know hotspots of where reception would be. Like, I don't know. That's another thing in its own. But anyways, so I'm trying to find parking. Can't find it. People that are there, that are workers, don't know what they're talking about. They're like, oh yeah, no, this is just for this. I don't know anywhere else where you can park. I don't know. You can try over here, or maybe, and it's like, okay, we tried one recommendation, and it's like, oh no, dude, this is like strictly, student parking. You got to have like a pass, which is fully understandable. Again, we're in a university, and I'm just like, dude, where do we go? And it wasn't until that guy finally told us, hey, go over here. You're going to find a structure. It's kind of like where family and friends can park. It's free, blah, blah, blah. But that was literally after wasting, like, again, 30 to 45 minutes, which was critical. So we found parking, we did that, and then we had to walk like 15 minutes to where we needed to be. So add that to that delay of, like, I'm going to give it a hard 45 minutes we lost just from walking, from finding parking and everything, which is big deal because we were trying to get to our VIP check-in, which was very smooth, mind you. VIP Nation, who handled it. The check-in process, smooth. It was easy, no big deal. Scan, boom, boom, wristbands. It was easy peasy. Top marks for them. But then after you do that, you get access to the VIP merch, that was the other big, like, benefit, because you have all these other merch stations outside. And I'm telling you, there's lines beyond Disneyland type of lines. We're talking like 5-6 hour wait lines that people were in from crack of dawn, sometimes in some cases the day before. At least like on Friday they did like a merch sale. It wasn't even a concert date, but they did early merch sale that day. And there were people that were there from like 6:30 p.m. the night Thursday to go for a Friday. It's insanity, I'll tell you. But we had the perk of VIP merch, our own booth, and we did. But what sucked is by the time we finally got up, because we waited in there for a good hour, I would say. But by the time it was our turn to shop, a lot of the stuff we wanted sold out. And I'm telling you, that loss of time for parking we would have been clean. We would have been perfect. And we would have gotten exactly what we wanted, like to the letter. And so that was my biggest like negative experience that I had. It wasn't necessarily the concert hosts or anything, or the people that were doing it, because they did well. It was the parking. Like that was, and I don't understand why that wasn't like more communicated, because we had parking pass for whether we paid for, but it's like, oh, we can't park you in 1:30, which I'm like, why not? Like, park us early. We have the pass, scan it. I'm going to leave my car. I'm going to be here all day. I'm like, I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to go anywhere. I would have just parked. Like, everything was walking distance. Like, there was a big shopping center not nearby. The university and the stadium, like everything was nearby, but I really don't understand why I didn't just let people park in the general area. I mean, granted, maybe it was just workers. I don't know. But that was bad. That was bad. That was the most frustrating part. And again, walking wasn't even it. It was just the loss of time that absolutely destroyed our opportunity to get merch due to parking. So, and again, Stanford isn't built for this kind of modern mega concert traffic. I mean, this is literally the second time that Stanford Stadium hosted a music act. The first time ever was last year, and it was Coldplay, which, again, Coldplay is not at the level of BTS. Sorry, no disrespect to Coldplay, but they're not. Not even close. Just saying. So, I mean, yeah, they sold out twice. 2 nights. They did 2 nights, sold out. BTS is doing 3, and they sold out. 1 on a Tuesday, which is so random. But they're not the same level. But I don't understand why they even did it at this university. But I don't know. So, overall, though, the VIP check-in, everything was great. I highly recommend if you are able to attend any of the upcoming or future BTS concerts, or any other concert for that matter, really, because I've done a lot of VIP. I've did it with Twice and a couple others, and they're pretty much hosted by like the same like organization that puts it together, Live Nation, and they've been pretty cool, man. They've been pretty cool. After we did the merch, the VIP, and we were heartbroken there, we made our way to the Weavers pickup, because you were able to buy merch ahead of time. And just do a pickup so you can avoid all these lines and merch shopping stuff. Again, I think there were certain items that weren't on there, and some of the items I wanted sold out, so we tried our hand in trying to buy the merch live there. But I did buy one thing on Weaver, so we went to that, and that was easy. You just walked right in, scanned my QR code, and I was out. It was easy peasy. I highly recommend that if you're able to get the items you want. And I hope in the future, not only BTS, but other groups like do this. I think this was a really interesting, neat idea, and it worked really well, and it was very functional, very smooth. Again, I don't know what other bands are at that level of fandom where they can provide something like that and it be beneficial for them. So, but I hope that BTS continues this. So they usually do it like a month before the concert is. So I'm going to try it again with the SoFi one once that one goes up, because SoFi is not until September. So we'll see how that one goes, and hopefully second attempt to get merch. We'll see if we get that. But anyways, what else before we get into some interesting stuff here. This is all pregame stuff, all the things beforehand. Fortunately, where we were, we waited till 1:30 after we got our Weavers pickup, and I was able to do parking, which I got like the further away parking. Like they had like different sections. There was like 7 sections. So I was like, oh, let me get the one that's furthest out this way, closer to like the shopping mall. The walking to the stadium is not a big deal. I already expected walking. So we did, as soon as 1:30 came around, we went. And we kind of, they're like, oh, it's not open yet. You got to wait. So we kind of just did one of those like, oh, I'm going to park to the side, put my hazard lights on and wait 5 minutes because literally like, oh, we're going to open in like 5 minutes. And I was like, can't just do it now, but all right, whatever. I understand. So we did that, got in, and there was 2 like lots that they had open. People were going to like this left one, which took you all the way in. It was close, which was great. But I'm like, dude, you'd get buried. And trust me, I park at Dodger Stadium. Leaving a Dodger game when you're parked in the stadium is a freaking nightmare. And you got to do it right. And this is actually, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to kind of spend a minute. It's on topic, but off topic. I'm going to give you a pro tip. If you're parking in a stadium, like parking lot, whether it's a football game, I've done this at SoFi, done it at Dodgers, did it at Disney, did it at Universal. Which Universal and Disney don't really count because they have really good structure, but still the same way, still the same thing in essence, depending on whatever's going on. But when you're doing a concert and a big one in a big city, like you never want to park as close as you can to the venue. I know that's like the first instinct that everybody has is like, excuse me. Let's imagine you have a stadium, and obviously, we'll just use one side of a stadium. But in front of the stadium, there's always usually a street, whether it's operable or not. It is what it is. But there's usually a street to cross, and then they have a parking lot. And at this parking lot, you'll have like the first couple spots, which is close to that street, close to the stadium. And then as you go all the way to the back end, it's the back. So you got to walk all the way across the parking lot, which I know people don't like doing that. I mean, you get people who freaking will literally wait for people to pull out of the front of a freaking Target or whatever just to park up front. Or I'm one of those dudes, I park far. I go to Costco, I park far. I'm on the side of the building by the trees towards the back. I don't even care. Like I'll walk. I'll get my steps in for 1, but 2, I don't want no one to hit my car. But 3, it's just it's less stressful. It's easy. So what I do, again, pro tip for parking: you always want to park never closest to the venue, so you can have less walking space. You want to park closest to where the exit is, most likely where you came in from, but where the exit's at, because the closer you are to the exit, and if you strategically park where they have a good parking, like whether you got to back in or whatever, like as soon as you get in your car, you just zip out and you're out of there. You don't got to wait. You're first one out on the street. You just maybe got a little bit of minor. And that's the other thing. You got to check what streets can be ones where, because here's the thing, before a concert, a good majority, 80% of streets are open, and it's like, all right, cool. At the end of a concert, because a lot of people are trying to leave in this, they will close streets and you will have zero access to it. So if you park in a way where you, like, it's one of those streets you can see they'll potentially close, and now you have to like go traverse to the other side of the parking lot to exit off this one exit. This happened at SoFi where before the venue, the parking lot that we were in, I forgot which one it was, HAB, whatever, it had like 5 exits. And they were all like pretty much accessible. And then as soon as the venue closed, like everyone was leaving. It was the end of the concert, because I think it's when we did Stray Kids or Blackpink. I think it was Stray Kids. I learned it was Stray Kids because that was the first one I went to SoFi, was to see Stray Kids. We parked up front as close as we can to the thing, and rookie mistake. And then all of a sudden, when we closed, when it was time to leave, because I was like, oh, they have an exit over there. Over there, there's like 4 exits. We're fine. 4 or 5 exits. Well, they consolidated to just 2 exits to navigate traffic because they were trying to ensure no one goes on this side of this particular road and directing traffic to this other road, kind of like a bottleneck. And everyone was just migrating to one. It was a nightmare. And I'm parked all the way in the corner, so I had to go all the way. And dude, I tell you, we waited. It was better off just, hey, I'm just going to turn off the car. Let's just take a nap for like an hour, and maybe it'll clear up. That's how chaotic it was. So the second time when we went to see Blackpink and went to a Denver Bronco game, so I was like, nah, dude, this is what we're doing. And both those times, fantastic. Dodger games, same thing. I don't park all the way up front. There'll always be like, oh, here's that front row. I go to the furthest back, and I pay. And since I've been to so many Dodger games now, I have enough understanding of, hey, how's this traffic going to navigate? And I'm like, okay, this is the way to go. So for this one here at Stanford, I was like, we're going to park here. This is going to be the exit, the way we came in. And we were literally the second car to enter whatever this lot was. So we just parked, bam, excellent. And I'm going to kind of fast forward because I'm on the topic now, but leaving Stanford after the concert was over, which was chaos, hella people, traffic. I mean, everything was red. I mean, I look on maps when it was able to work. I looked on maps because that was one of the big complaints. People were like, I couldn't get out. I don't know how to navigate. And the maps, yeah, because the service sucks. Plus, on top of that, you have all these people using the same towers. It was a nightmare. But I saw the red. But for me, since I already just came to this, I was like, all right, cool. We're right here. I zipped right out. I was out. Literally, I got out of the parking, and as soon as I got in my car, on the street, like to get to where I needed to go, 2 minutes. That's how fast it was getting out of Stanford. And again, it's because I got the furthest lot. I was one of the first ones to get in, parked close to where, because they only had one exit for this one. And I was close to that one. Boom, boom, done. So again, my pro tip is if you go to any major event, whether it's a ball game, baseball, football, basketball, a actual big concert that's at a concert venue where you got a pie, where you got to buy a parking pass or what have you. That's my tip is don't park close to the venue because you want to take less steps. Saves you like 2-3 minutes, 20-30 steps. Park strategically where that exit would be, where it looks like it's a street. They wouldn't close after the venue, so that way you can just zip on out. Easy peasy. So anyways, that's my little pro tip and soapbox, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. Use it or don't. But I promise you, if you do, you'll have the best experiences getting out of these type of places. So let's go. My cat is yelling at me because she wants to play catch. For those that don't know, one of my cats is the dog. It's a cat, but she'll literally bring me a ball. I'll grab it. I'll throw it. She'll chase it, grab it, and then bring it right back to me. And she's yelling at me right now because she wants to play catch. So I might have to pause in a second just to do that. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, kitty cats, they're very interesting. So let's talk about, let's see, what's the next thing? So we talked about VIP, we talked about parking. So now let's talk about the vibe. I have said this before in my previous episodes where I talked about Stray Kids, Blackpink, and specifically twice since I got to experience them 3 times. And a couple other K-pop bands. I have done other groups, a couple rock bands, a rap group, or artist. So I've done a couple different concerts. And I gotta say, and I've said it before and I'll keep saying it, K-pop fans are the best fans in terms of all the stuff, in terms of supporting the group, but in terms of being respectful to one another, supporting one another, nice, courteous, just positive, pleasant, you name it. Like, honestly, I want to say 90% of K-pop fans that I've been and experienced in these concert events, 90% have been exceptional, just the best. And I just genuinely appreciate that. And this was the first time getting to experience ARMY. Again, ARMY is the term for BTS fan base. You'll hear me say it throughout. So in case you're tripping, you're like, what the hell is he saying? That's what it is. ARMY is the fans. That's what they called. But ARMY is incredible. They were incredible, respectful, and very supportive. And it's just a totally different vibe. If you've never been to a K-pop concert, I'm telling you, man, you got to go in there with the vibe, especially if you know what you're watching, who you're watching, and you know the songs and stuff. Like, you're an actual fan. It's even better because you get to like fanned out, nerd out, whatever you want to call it. I mean, even if you're not, you'll at least get to see it. But it's one of those things that, like, if you're part of the community, you have a better understanding. Things aren't awkward. Things aren't weird to you in this and that. Because we all know how that is. Like, you go somewhere and, like, if you don't know crap about Star Wars, we'll say, right? Or you're not a Disney person, we'll say. Because I know a lot of my listeners are Star Wars fans and Disney guys. If you're not one of them and you go see a Star Wars fan, all nerded out, suited out, acting out, the whole 9 yards, all the geekness, or a Disney fan that's like over the top Disney, you know, you'd be like, ugh, they're kind of weird. Like, that was a little too much, you know, like all this nonsense. I get that. And, you know, same thing applies to any of these bands you go to. If you're a fan of the band, you know, and you go to a rock and roll band, and you're all like goth out, to someone who doesn't know the band or doesn't know the style or whatever, they're going to be like, what is this? Ugh, this person's all goth out, super emotional. It's just the way it is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's just cool though. Like the ARMY and the K-pop scene, the vibes, the community, it's something else. Like they're very unique. There's very unique traditions and mannerisms and things that happen and you do at these K-pop things that, like, no, I don't think any other. Let me put it this way. One of the things that's traditional at a K-pop thing is we always do freebies. And the freebies, some people make some of the most creative things that are so custom tailored or so awesome, but you're always having it because, you know, K-pop has photo cards in their albums, which nobody else does. And you do these, you give out all this stuff. Like, it's a normal thing. It's 100%. Like, if you go to a K-pop concert, you expect to leave with, it's like trick or treat, man. You're going to leave with so many little, like, party favors. It's just the thing. When we went, we gave out some of our stuff. We actually did some of our Sinasans, like overstock that we have, and we took it and we gave them out, and people loved it. And, you know, we got so much back. And to give you an example of, like, for us, this is normal. To someone who's not normal, I believe it was a Taylor Swift concert where they gave out friendship bracelets, and to do a very poor imitation of Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight when he's explaining to Harvey Dent that he doesn't have a plan and he's a dog, and he's like, hey, I wouldn't know what if I do it, you know, if he caught a truck as a dog or whatever it was. Like, that's how Swifties were. They're like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever. That's cool, man. I remember my first beer. First time. Hey, cheers. It's normal. It's normal for K-pop. But anyways, it's just so cool. Like, again, they're just it's pretty chill atmosphere. Everyone's helpful. Everyone's great. People helping each other, communicating, being patient. Which was very helpful, because one of the unique things about the Stanford experience was this was like the first concert where, like, the ushers, the security, the stadium personnel, like, I almost felt they were non-existent. Like, the most interaction, I mean, they kind of managed the lines a little bit, but not too much. And then you went through the security check, which was just like, I had a bunch of shit in my hands. I walked right in and they're like, okay, you're good. Like, the scanner didn't go off. So I'm like, cool. And then, you know, my wife walked through and she just had her clear bag, and they just like, okay, good. Or I'm just like, Jesus, like, you know, not saying I would, but it's like, I mean, I could have came in with a bunch of stuff. They didn't really check anything as far as I know. And then when we scanned, just tap my phone for tickets, which again, I love digital technology, but man, I really wish we still had some of those old school, like, here's a ticket, man. Here's a boleto for you. You know what I mean? Just to have that novelty of it. They don't give out tickets anymore. It kind of sucks. And that's everything. That's like Disney. I mean, I get it. Technology is best, but sometimes you want that novelty. But yeah, and then after that, it was just like, all right, everyone, we're just going to hang out here. And then once it's time, we're going to open up the tunnels and go find your seats or go do whatever you got to do. And that was it. Like, as soon as that was it, like, okay, cool. They let us in. And then, like, I'm just going to go to the floor because I know I have floor seats, VIP. We're all VIP. Everyone that was there for VIP that left early was let in early. And then we just found our own seats, found our own row, which they had it well done. Like, they had the rows labeled and everything, but it was cool. But then for those that, like, don't know, that are visitors or whatever, like, we were very friendly to help each other out. And when you sports crowds, theme park crowds, convention crowds, like, I'm not insulting anyone, but dude, you guys don't compare to a K-pop concert crowd, even other concerts, like top tier, which I will have in a little bit a fun story that I hinted at the very beginning of this episode that I think is going to be something else. But overall, vibe was good. Felt great. I mean, didn't feel anything new. It just felt like what I've already experienced with Twice and other groups. So that was cool. We had the Soundcheck experience, which was awesome. It was cool. I do have a little bit of criticism with it. I mean, I will definitely do it again if given the opportunity. But compared, I didn't set an expectation. I had zero expectation, but I have seen, like, some of the videos on social media that people have posted with other sound checks that BTS has done at other concert venues that they had previously this year. And this one was nothing compared to any of that. They just came out. They did 3 songs. There wasn't much interaction, much dialogue. It was just like, cool, hey, we're here, blah. I think it was J-Hope, Jimin, and V. They had the most, like, energy and was, like, trying to already see what's going on with the fans. But it was just very, like, it was very quick. Felt very quick. And I don't know. It was definitely interesting. I don't know if it was the venue. I don't know if it was just, they just were tired because, I mean, these guys were being worked like crazy with this whole thing. Like, I don't know. It seemed a little off. It was still cool, still great in terms of just being able to see them beforehand and all that. It just wasn't what I kind of experienced before. And again, not that I had expectations, but, you know, I had a little bit of an expectation and just, I don't know. Overall, though, I mean, I'll do it again. No problem. Because outside of being able to see them early, play a couple songs, and you never know what you're going to get, it was just cool to be in there early and get established and be able to, you know, get some food because they had some of the foods open. I mean, as soon as they finished their thing, we went to one of the booths, merch booths inside, and we got in there quick and we were able to get some of the stuff that we weren't able to get. So we were covered there. So that's the other perk. VIP is they were able to go. And again, I had a plan because my wife was like, what are we going to do now? Are we going to need someone? We're going to use the bathroom? Whatever. I was like, no, I know where I got to go. I'm going to go to our merch booth because I need to get you the things that you wanted that we didn't able to get because of stupid parking. So, yeah, it was interesting. So now I'm going to talk about an interesting thing. And I personally, to me, I think it's funny. But I don't know. This was like, out of everything here, I feel like this might have been like it is for sure one of the most memorable things that happened at the concert. Which I got to live and take part in a social, I guess like a social experiment, if you will. And I just found it interesting. I don't know. It was just something. So here's what happened. So we went before the show was about to start. We were like, hey, we got to make it back to our seat. It was like it was supposed to start at 7, and it was like 6:30, and we were already done because after we did the shopping and everything, we had like 2 hours to kill. Because we started lining up at 1:30. They told the VIP check-in to start lining up, be there by 2:30 to be in for sound check. We were let in at 3. We were let in at 3. Then we had to wait a little bit. Then they let us at our seats. So they gave us about 40 minutes to everyone get settled in. And then before sound check started at 4, we did sound check. Again, sound check went by really freaking fast. So after that, we had like 2.5 hours because at 4:30 they were letting generals in, which again, that gave us like an hour and a half, if not a little bit more, because to just do whatever. But then they let generals in, and then the show started at 7. So I don't know. So yeah, 2:30, 4:30, 5:36. So yeah, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to just, kill time. So anyways, we got our food. We had a few little drinks. They had a really good, they called it a dynamite colada, which I am going to recreate, and I'll probably post a video for that later. I just need to get the ingredients, which isn't hard at all, but I'm going to make my own little twist to it, a little Sigma twist to it. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, so we were, all right, it was like 6:30. We're like, hey, let's go back to our seats. The sun was already down. It wasn't that hot there, but the sun was kicking our ass, dude. It was like 75 degrees, but the sun was just on us. I got like burnt. And I'm like, hey, let's just go back to our seats. But before we do that, we got to use the bathroom. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go. You go. So we go to the area where the female women restrooms at. And we're like, hey, here's the door to get in, right? And we're like, well, there's a line. So we're walking. I'm like, all right. I go, well, hey, you figure out this. I'm going to go to mine because mine's on the other side. Well, this other side that I was walking happened to be where the line kept going. So Salina was with me the entire time. And we're walking. And as soon as we hit the door for men's room, her line kept going. I'm like, dude, ain't no way you're going to be able to use the bathroom. Ain't no way. And this was a major problem. This is always a problem. Listen, I'm going to say something real quick. Female listeners, I'm sorry for the bathroom situation that you guys go through on a regular with these big events or a busy area like a mall or something, because sometimes y'all got lines, and I just don't understand why. It's not hard to go bathroom outside that some guys stand and whip it out and bam, there you go. But females, you have to go in the stall, sit down, and do all that. But even my wife was like complaining. She's like, dude, I don't know what these girls are doing. They go in and they're in there forever. Like, it's not hard to go in and do your business and leave. Like, what's going on? So I can't speak to that. But based on what she told me, some of y'all, if you're one of these that's listening, happens to be listening, you go to the bathroom and you go in the stall and you're in there for a cool 5-10 minutes not doing anything besides taking a dump or something, you're a problem. You understand? You're a problem. I'm just forwarding the voice of my wife because that's what she said. So anyways, so I'm sorry you guys got to go through all that. For those that don't go in and waste your time, that you just go in there, do your business, and get the hell out of there. But dude, the line was insane. So I was like, sorry, babe. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go in. There's no line for me. I can just walk in and done. And as I was walking, I was thinking, I was like, dude, honestly, I should just bring her in here to use the bathroom. Like, what the hell are people going to say? People got a problem with it? Whatever. She's with me. So I was thinking that. Didn't say it, didn't share it. I go in the stall. Because I don't like the urinals. That's a whole different thing. It's a dude conversation. But I hate using urinals. And I'll tell you why very briefly, but I'm not gonna have a deep heart-to-heart conversation about it. When you use a urinal, most of them, like 95% of the time, no matter how hard, like how strong your stream is when you're urinating, it splashes, and that gets on your pants and everything. Like, you may not realize it. Dudes that use urinals, you may not realize it, but that shit splashes on you, and it's gross. And then you got pee smell on you. It's the most disgusting thing ever. So I genuinely do not like using urinals whatsoever. I'll go into a stall and lift the toilet seat, whatever, and do my business that way. I only use a urinal if it's like absolutely that's the only option I have, because there's a line, there's a woman line to hit the stall, you know, Disneyland line to hit the stalls. But yeah, I don't like using urinals. Whatever. Hit me up if you got a different. That's my hot take for guys. It's a guy thing. Anyways, so I go in the stall, I come out. As soon as I come out, I'm like, I look at the, you know, because there's starting to be a little bit of like a small line inside the bathroom. And there was a girl in there, and I was like, what the hell? I'm like, oh, dude, you know what? I don't blame you, because that line out there was ridiculous. So then I'm like, I go wash my hands and everything, and then I'm walking out, and then I see another one. I'm like, oh, all right, do your thing. All of us, we didn't give a shit. Like, straight up, us guys I personally didn't care. A lot of the guys I can tell, they didn't care either. It was like, oh, okay, cool. And then next thing you know, I see, as I'm walking out, there's this guy. He's like, come on, I'm just going to take you in. And he's taking his girl, and they're going in there. And I'm like, bro, do what you got to do. So I go out there. The line is still there, super huge. And, you know, Salina's waiting for me. And I go, hey, dude, people are, she's like, I know. This girl right now that just went in, they were like, she's like, take me. And I'm like, dude, go. She's like, no, you know, so she was still nervous. Like, I don't want to. I'm like, just go. She's like, no, take me. And I'll go, oh my God. It's like, all right, let's go. So when I took her, I was like, there you go. It's men's bathroom. It's actually nice and clean. And then stall, she went in there, and I just kind of waited by the door a little bit. And then that was it. But what was funny is, like, this was before the concert started, right? Or before the show actually started at 7. And there was just a few that were doing it. And it's funny because I'm looking at the line, like, as we were coming out, and how some girls are coming out, and the other girls on the line are like, oh my God, that's like ridiculous, or this. But then you can tell they're like, I really want to do that too, because they just want to use the bathroom and get the hell out. And again, a lot of people were just like, we don't care. And so that was funny to me. In that part, it was just like, oh wow, interesting. What made it even not better, but like what made it even funnier for me was the show started, everything's cool, and there's like 2 intermissions, I believe, 2 or 3 intermissions. And on that first intermission, I was like, dude, I got to use the bathroom. She's like, I got to go too. I was like, all right, now's the time. Everybody knew this is the time, because if you've watched the concert, we watched the concert in theaters before we came out. We watched, you know, we know the set list and when the breaks happen, etc. So I was like, now's the time. Let's go to the bathroom. So we go, and sure enough, because we were thinking, oh, we're going to be fast, that, you know, not everyone, of course, everyone thought the same thing. Again, the same line, same distance. And I'm telling you, dude, this was a line, like, I can't put actual like mileage or distance to it, but if I had to compare it to something that, I can't think of anything that like every single person in the world would know. Because the easiest thing I can say is like, oh, it's kind of like the California Screamer ride queue from Disneyland. If you know what that is, you know, like it could literally, from the moment you go up the stairs, from the stairs to the entrance of the queue, like going through all the little snake, like that's how long the freaking line is. Like, it's stupid long. Like, yeah. Can't think of anything else right now to compare it to that's not Disneyland for whatever reason. I don't know why Disneyland's in my head right now, but it is. That's a sign. Anyways, so we go, and I told her, I go, hey, just go in there with me. She's like, yes. Like, she didn't even hesitate this time. But what's funny is, as soon as we get in, there was hella more females going in there just not caring. So, you know, this is what made it even better. So we go, there was another couple that was there, and they were like, because we went in, we were first, we're like, we're just going to go. It's not a big deal. And we were kind of like, we weren't like deliberately speaking out loud, but we were kind of speaking loud where we were just saying it, because there was a couple that was like hesitant, and we're just like, dude, we're going. And I made eye contact with dude, and I was like, we already done this, bro. And he's like, let's just go. So he takes his girl. So I go, all right, find a stall that's open. It's kind of hard to see if a stall's occupied or not. It's kind of annoying because you couldn't really see it. It was kind of low, so you really got to bend down to see if it just like catch someone's ankles, and the doors, like, they stay like closed. They don't like stay open. So if it's empty, the door looks closed. You don't know, whatever. So anyway, so I opened the door, and I was like, you go first. I'll wait for you, because, you know, I'll be fast, but you go first. So she goes in, and then the stall next to me, the dude does the same thing. He has his girl going there, and he like turns around, and he's backs against the wall, and he's like a bodyguard, you know, like this. And I'm just standing there like just waiting, because obviously I'm going to use the stall. But then I look to my side, and I see, again, there's a line forming inside the bathroom, and there's like 6 girls deep or something like that. And they're just like, you can tell they're like, they need his bathroom. They feel little like this is obviously out of your element. It's a men's room and this and this, and there's quite a few people. So then I'm sitting there like, you know what? I'm just going to help out. So I go, and I'm looking at the underneath. I'm pushing doors, checking it. And I'm like, I pop up at the door. It's empty. I point at the girl, and I was like, hey, right here. Andale. I open the next one. Hey, go. So I'm over here directing traffic for all these girls in the bathroom. And the dude next to me is like, damn, bro, like you went from like bringing a girl in to like watching the door to like navigating traffic. And I'm like, hey, you know, dude, I was just like, dude, it is what it is. Like, it's just one of those weird, like, for me, it's like, even though I don't know these people and anything, like, I feel like I'm genuinely a good person, right? And like, I feel like I'm naturally like a protector in a sense. So not that I felt obligated or anything, but I felt like it was my duty to like assist this whole, what was happening. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, you know, call it chivalry or whatever you want to call it. But it's just, I just felt like I had to, like, I was just like, I'm helping regardless of what's happening. It's like, I got to help. Like, and that's kind of the essence of like how the whole community is. Like, nobody cared. Like, all the guys in there were just like, whatever, it is what it is. You know, just know what you're getting into, but, you know, don't go in there being a Karen or anything like that. But it's like, you're choosing to go into a men's restroom. So, not saying anything bad was going to happen, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. But yeah, no, I was just like, it's cool. Like, come on in here, boom, boom, boom. And then I dipped, and there was a lot of people using it. And then before you know it became like a secondary women's restroom, the men's restroom. It was funny, and nobody cared. Nobody said anything. So now if it was the other way around, yeah, we all know that would be a problem. So it is what it is. So but it was just weird. It was like a temporary social agreement where everyone understood the assignment. Everyone understood the situation. Like, we're here to watch a show. People got to use the bathroom. It's just going to happen. And I don't know. It was everybody was super respectful, and nobody made it weird. And I just think, I don't know. It was just pretty cool. It was funny. It was just very funny to me. It was just an interesting thing that I got to like witness and I guess take part, since I helped navigate, like, I think it was like seven or eight females to their spot. So if by some chance you happen to be listening and you're like, oh yeah, I was that person, hey, you're welcome. Let's talk about the concert real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. And the concert itself felt great. It was cool. It was a little weird because Stanford, they have a city ordinance where they can't have any like loud music or excessive things beyond 10 p.m. So they had to start the concert at 7, which normally would start at 8. So there was a lot of daylight early in the concert, which felt weird. Like, really, like watching a concert outdoors and it's still daylight. Like, it just didn't seem right. It's kind of how like when I go watch a baseball game and it's like in the middle of the day. It's just weird to me. Like, I'm so used to watching a game like start at 7 o'clock and then it's like nighttime. But it was cool. Again, the production was really well. This was a 360 degrees stadium or stage, if you will. And they had like a couple parts where they branch out. So there was a few moments where we're sitting where we got to see each member fairly close, like 15 feet away, 20 feet away. So that was pretty cool. The energy, the fans, the excitement, everything was great. Again, I love the stage design, the production, and the vibe was just great. And I don't know, honestly, it was weird seeing them perform in broad daylight, but then when it got dark, it was the best. We had fireworks and everything going on, which I heard that in day one, it didn't. We'll talk about that in a little bit because we'll segue that just a smidge because I'm going to touch a little bit on this little minor. I think it's a minor contradiction, but whatever. What was cool is though, we already knew their set list, but in their set list, there's towards the third act, if you will. They play 2 random songs from their catalog, and so far they've performed I don't know, 10 times maybe. I could be completely wrong on this. I don't really know. I honestly don't know, but we'll just say it was like 10 times. And at each one, they've played different. When it got to this part of the concert, this part of the set list, they've all played different songs. And so it's kind of like people kind of now have like a bingo card type of thing going on where they have like, all right, here's all like their whole catalog of songs, and people are trying to guess, all right, for this concert, like in Mexico, day one, which ones are going to play, or people are marking them off because they haven't really repeated some of them. So it's almost like it's like a mystery blind box, to be honest. You don't know what you're going to get. So, a lot of people are taking signs, and there's like, DJ, please play this one. So the fans are trying to Army's trying to put their input on what songs to play. But for our show, we got Dope and Blood, Sweat, Tears, which are 2 of my favorite songs from the many favorite songs I have from them. But those are 2 for sure. And, oh, man, I lost it. Those are good. It was awesome. The vibes were through the roof. It was so cool to be able to see those 2 songs, even though they're not necessarily like in Act 3, they're more laid back. They're more chill. They're just kind of like, sometimes they're singing, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're goofing off. It's just like the third act. It's really, there's a couple parts in this act where they're just kind of just having a good time, just taking it all in. And usually when they're playing these songs, sometimes they'll actually perform it with the choreo. Sometimes they don't. They're just goofing off. And so there's a couple moments where they actually did the choreo. I can't even talk right now. The choreography of it, and it was funny. Sometimes they were just having a good time. Like Jim and V and Jungkook, they were acting a fool. Where even RM had to like, hey, you got to chill out a little bit because they were getting a little too. For the ladies, a little too spicy, if you will. But no, it was cool. I love that part of it. And God, there was so much confetti I have, and I collect a lot. So anytime we go to these concerts and they shoot out confetti, I try to collect it. It's kind of like memento keepsakes, little novelty, put in a little, like I know when we went to our first Twice one, my wife got a couple. We were lucky enough to get some of the confetti because we were kind of far. Not far, but we weren't that close to get it. But we got a couple little pieces, and she put in a little picture frame. Oh, first Twice concert, and I had the confettis in there from the concert and a photo and the whole 9 yards. So every time we go, we always try to get it. And God, this is the first time I got so much because we were literally up front, and they were just blasting it left and right. Like at one point, it just looked like it was just raining the confetti stuff. It was awesome. It was awesome. But no, man, it was great. It was fun. Like, I can't wait to go again. And I think if you're a fan of BTS, like going to the concert, it's definitely a must. It's on the bucket list. If you're not a fan, but you know someone who's a fan, like a couple of my friends that I know, they don't really listen to BTS, but I'm like, dude, I'll be like, let's go. I know they would have a good time. It was really good. The syncing of the light sticks, you didn't even got to do anything. You just turn it on and boom, it was already synced up, and that was very well done. It was great. The concert itself was fantastic. I can't even put into words. There was a little bit of controversy, I guess, because, and this is where it's more of an Army thing, I feel. But to add a little fuel to the fire, the group leader, RM, he kind of touched on it. So I didn't know this was it. My wife was like on social media, was seeing it like the night before, and I'm just like, whatever. But I guess there was a lot of talk about day one in Stanford that the energy wasn't there, and it just felt off. And yeah, it just wasn't cool, to the point where even like RM and a couple of the group members like mentioned like, hey, we need you guys to get hyped. This is, I don't know. It was like one of those weird situations where like, I know people are hyped, but they're not. Like, I mean, I don't know. Cause they just came back. Like the last venue they went to was Mexico, and Mexico was crazy. Like, I mean, it got to a point in Mexico where not only was the stadium packed, which they have a huge stadium, selling out of the Mexico stadium is massive, but not only did they have a sold out stadium, which I don't know how many people were on there. I'm going to try to Google it while I'm talking to you guys, as I always do. But outside of the stadium, they had like 40, I think they reported like 44,000 people out there. And I'm like, what? So here we go. It had about 65,000 in the stadium. No, I am so sorry. That was way off. Let's see here. BTS drew. Okay, so they drew. No, okay, so they added all. So 150,000, but that's adding all the dates. I think there was 3 nights. So on every night they had about 50,000 fans in the stadium, sold out, and outside there was anywhere from 35 to 45,000 fans outside of the venue nightly, surrounding it, like just doing the best they could hear. I mean, obviously they can't see, but just vibing to it. Like, that's insanity. That's massive. Stanford ain't doing that. They're not. I mean, yeah, they had sold out. They sold out, but they aren't doing that. On top of that, it's a university. It's they had to perform early during the daytime. I heard that day one they didn't do any fireworks or anything because of the noise. They had to be done by 10. Like, there's just so many things where it's just, this isn't the venue, dude. This isn't the place to do this kind of level of artist fandom, capacity, popularity, whatever you want to call it. This just, I don't know who chose Stanford, but it was the worst choice to host these guys. Coldplay, sure. Any other like not as big type of group, maybe. I don't know. Again, this is the second time Stanford has hosted a music act. And I get it. They might be learning, discovering, because maybe they're trying to do it to earn more money for the university, which I'll tell you right now, that damn university was, I already said it looked amazing. Like, there's a lot of money going there, trust me, especially whoever's attending it, and God knows how much they got to pay to get a nice little paper with the Stanford on there, on it. So I'm just saying, like, it's a beautiful, beautiful university. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But to host a concert, I don't know, dude. It's not it. It's not it. You're not built for that. Small group, maybe, but not BTS. I wouldn't even say Taylor Swift. I wouldn't even say Beyonce. Or any other like group. It's just not it. There's plenty of places in the Bay Area. Well, not really, because based on this design, Levi Stadium would have been the best choice to do it, which is interesting why they didn't. I don't know if there's already something going on, or maybe it was just way too expensive. But if they had to perform in the Bay Area, Levi would have been the best choice. So maybe it was that. Maybe it was just like they had to go with their best. What was a football stadium, or a stadium that's the size of a football field that can support this, and can somewhat manage. I think that's really what it is. So I'm curious to know. I feel Levi would have probably been their number one pick, but I'm curious to know why it wasn't. Because logically, that's statistically, commercial, everything logistically makes sense to be there. I feel Stanford might have been their second choice or their backup plan. I'm gonna look into that. That's interesting because every other venue that they've gone, it's a stadium. SoFi Stadium, Vegas Stadium, New Jersey. Because in Tampa, it was a stadium, like a football stadium, is what I'm really saying. I don't know what the one looks like in El Paso, but then Arlington, that's the Cowboy Stadium. Like if you just Google BTS World Tour, ARIRANG Tour, whatever stage, you'll see it's like a big old X, and it can span like almost not necessarily corner to corner of the field, but like if you imagine a football field, perfect rectangle, right? And just put like an X in there, but not corner to corner, but kinda, if that makes sense, with a circle in the middle. That's what it is. That's what it was. So, anyways, I just think, I don't think it's the fans. I don't think it was Army's thing as to why this little minor controversy opened up about the level of energy, but when you have the band, the group leader, RM, saying things like kind of not complaining, but like kind of hinting like, hey, like what's going on? Like, let's get it up. And on ours, day 2, he literally says, dude, this, like, you guys have been great. The energy's so much better from yesterday. Yikes. But what's interesting, and again, this is more of like a social thing with Army. It's like, they're taking, like, people are getting offended, like, by it, like saying, oh, so you're saying that if I was at day 1 that they had a bad experience or it sucked because I don't think it's that, like, don't look at it that way, because that's how they're looking at it. And there's now like division, like there's hate between Army fans, like some Army fans saying, hey, you guys failed us to represent. And it's freaking weird, which is, again, it's very counter to what you experience in person because everyone's so lovely. But I don't know, that part of it, it's not my forte. It's not where I get into. But again, if you happen to be a BTS Army listener to the episode, hit me up on the socials. Either hit me up on sigmaduocast.com or just go to Instagram and TikTok or whatever, and just share your piece. I would love to get your perspective on the feeling that you're experiencing with it, because I've read a couple comments and people's stuff like on social, like on X/Twitter and stuff, and there's some people that are like truly offended and some people are like kind of going at it, but I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird little thing, but hey, from where I was sitting and everything, it was fun. It was a great time. Everyone was pumping and jamming, and I think it was the venue. It was hot. People were in the sun, getting baked, getting toasted. As the kids say nowadays, they were getting cooked. Could be, dude, I was hot. Today, I had a lazy day. Me and my wife had a lazy day because we were in the sun for so long that I felt drained. As soon as we got home, because we got out of the parking lot super fast, drove all the way home in about an hour and a half or less. I was hauling ass, by the way. As soon as we got home, showered because of all the heat and everything, and passed out. And all throughout today, I was like recovering. Like I was just I was done. We were both like done. If John Berthold was here, he would have been like, why are you taking naps? Because we took some naps. And he'd be like, I don't trust you guys. But anyways, that's an interesting thing. That's a social thing with Army fan base, and I'm curious to see. I would love to learn more about that, which I'll probably do my own research. But if you happen to be a listener, hey, hit me up. I'm very curious. Other than that, I'm going to leave you guys with my final thoughts, final things. Again, I already talked about leaving the venue early because that was super fast. Parking was great. Intentional parking there, and I already gave you my 2 cents. So hopefully you guys follow my advice. If not, hey, it's all good. I don't care. But it was a great experience. It was fantastic. Again, I'm going to go ahead and just break down a couple things here. The venue itself, I already said it. Stanford University is very beautiful. It's a very wonderful university. Everything was great. Decent food in the stadium and everything. It was good on aspect of what it is. For hosting a BTS concert, not so good. I hope that either A, if they're continuing to host big name musics, if that's a thing that they're starting to do, learn from it, work with your whoever the host of the concert is and whoever hosts the venue itself, like the better collaboration or something. I don't know, but I wholeheartedly would not like to go to a Stanford concert if it happens again, but I don't know. Again, the university is beautiful. It was very nice, but yeah. BTS performance, phenomenal, exceptional, amazing, the best. Definitely have to experience it once in a lifetime. This was a bucket list check mark and well worth it, and hopefully many more to come. The VIP experience overall was worth it. It was not expensive for me for 2 tickets. I only spent like maybe $1,100. I'm too sure. I don't really remember how much it cost. It wasn't that much though. I don't think so. For 2 people, I don't think it was that much. Considering that Star Wars Celebration VIP ticket for one person was like $1,300. I mean, and we got some goodies, dude. The VIP, they gave us like some free goodies, which was dope. It wasn't some cheapo stuff. It was some actually legit, pretty good stuff. That's the other thing about VIP. Early access to merch, early access to the venue. You get a free little goodie bag that's pretty good quality most of the time. All the ones I've gotten have been pretty awesome. And you get Soundcheck, get to see your group early. Sometimes it's unpredictable, so sometimes it could be a fun interaction. Sometimes it can be really fast, like how ours was. But overall, really great. Merch, it would have been good. It was just timing. If you time it well, okay, merch was fine. You just got to time it well. That's it. I think they had really good cap like limits on how much you can purchase and what you can buy. So they handled it well. They did it very well. It just comes down to timing. Whether it's spending the night before getting in line or whatever the case, whatever it is that you do. In our case, we got screwed over because parking, and I will say parking was trash outside of the actual general parking for it. My parking complaint is for earlier in the day for VIP check-in and all that. It was not convenient whatsoever. In retrospect, I now know what I can do and where to go because obviously I learned from it. But had I known beforehand, it would have been very beneficial because I would have been in and out really quick and got into the VIP line and my merch line very quick and got my wife what she really wanted, which again, I got about 95% of what she really wanted, 90%. So, but yeah, parking was all right for the actual general parking. Just got to be smart about it. Told you my tips. Army, very respectful, very welcoming. Like I said, it's always a pleasure to be in the midst of K-pop fans. It is a whole different, 90% of them just amazing individuals. Great experience. I mean, like I said, we had our social experiment, man, where females started using the men's restroom because their line was ridiculous. I don't blame them. And that was all cordial and it was all fine. Nothing inappropriate, nothing weird. And it was great. It was very, very awesome. So, but at the end of the day, the biggest takeaway from this entire thing was getting to see Salina experience BTS live for the first time. That was just amazing. That's what made this whole thing just top tier, the best. Again, very happy that she got to experience that. It was emotional and just great. It's great to see. And we're going to do it again in September when they come to SoFi in LA, Inglewood, what have you. So we're excited, looking forward to that. So at the end of the day, even with the parking disaster, the merch stress, the heat, the lines, the chaos, it just became one of those experiences that we'll remember forever. And again, now we'll do it again in September at SoFi. And honestly, after seeing BTS once, I completely understand why people follow this group around the world, because there was one lady that my wife spoke to when we were waiting for in the concessions where she just, naturally gravitates and is friendly with people. And she discovered that this lady was from Hong Kong. and flew all the way out here just to watch them. And there's a lot of people like that will just travel the world and go to every single one of their shows if they can. Like it's very interesting. It's very unique, but it's very awesome. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys on this experience. I hope it was fun listening, and I hope that you guys get to experience it at some point. If not BTS, your favorite musician group, and it's everything you want it to be. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time.